Gotcha. Roger that. Okay.
Once was the
We started that. That was getting one. Okay, I don't remember the next key. Hold on. Okay, it's G.
Gotta keep it interesting.
I forgot the G. Yeah. Let me try something.
Turn into like our greatest hit.
It's annoying.
Okay.
Let me think about
So I got some feedback on that if you don't mind. I actually like that. But be consistent up until you kick in, right?
Okay.
And then the only other thing about that intro thing you did, you held it a little bit long. You played that little thing you played first. Like I would go to the next chord with that same kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like boo doo doo.
And I'll jump in the regular thing after that because I feel like when the guitars are coming in right heavier, I want to jump into the. I'll do that. Okay, let me try that one more time. You don't think it's annoying though? Or should I go?
I like that too, but I like the first one better.
Okay.
But I would make it a little more staccato, like do 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 do. Because you got to think you're gonna have those ringing notes on the guitars.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know. I'll tell you what. Well, yesterday there was no real significant video from the studio like normal because I had forgotten that I had promised Summer to go with her to try to purchase a new car. Good thing that I did, because she had to have me. And we went to the Motor Sports Mall, or Motor Mall, or whatever they call it, in Concord, where there's 4 distinct dealerships that all can apparently sell from each other in this really convoluted way, where they go get permission and, you know, get car keys. And we wasted a couple hours trying to look at different vehicles. They got her there with a $500 offer, which apparently turned out to be BS. It was just on a particular make of car, and that's not how they had presented it at all. But anyway, it did turn out to be cheaper than Albemarle, so that was fine. But then they slapped the old administrative fee, and that's just basically a fee to give them money. And I've never paid. In the past, I've said when I go in, I lay down, I say, I'm not paying an administrative fee. If that's a problem, we'll just tell me now, and we'll leave. I don't want to waste your time or mine. I didn't say that last time. They slapped the $700 administrative fee on us for the privilege of paying them money, and I was real pissed about that. I let them know it too. But then of course we had the whole thing where I kept saying, look, I gotta go, I've been here 2 hours, I have somewhere I have to be at 2 o'clock. I didn't get out of there until like 3:30. Ultimately them saying, oh yeah, 15 more minutes, which is bull crap. They're slow as heck. It wound up taking Summer 5 hours and took me like 4 being there. So that was ridiculous. But she wound up getting a Kia Soul, 2020 Kia Soul, with only 35,000 miles on it, for about 21 grand. Now when all that's added, all the fees and crap are added in, I guess it was 29 or whatever. Crazy how they add all this bullshit on you at the end. But her payment, I advised her to not get the warranty at all. The guy just would not take no for an answer and kept negotiating, and eventually she settled for 70,000 more miles, a kind of a warranty with $100 deductible, and that put her payment like at $379, which is probably barely manageable for her with the hours she works. And she's a single mom and she's about to go to school. So, but we had to get the car. So I wish that jerk had never come along and destroyed her last vehicle. That really set us back. Even with the settlement money, it just hugely inconvenient. But anyway, I feel somewhat good about this vehicle because it has a lot more safety features than the other one. And it still has that, extended back area where there's the space between the back seat and the, and the back of the vehicle, because that's what saved Delilah and her from injury last time. So anyway, it is what it is, but we got that out of the way. So then I went to the studio last night and I was really tired. I only had like a smoothie yesterday. Didn't quite get enough sleep the night before. So once again, my giant day at the studio, which all the stuff planned to do, was somewhat derailed. But I was there for about an hour by myself, and I did work on some arrangement for a song called The Leaving Game, and I actually even did the drums, which is extremely rare. But I've told Harrison I'm going to try to dedicate myself to being ready to play more instruments, because Harrison, it's a joke that's funny to me every time, because Harrison actually is a ginger. But I always say that I work him like a redheaded stepchild, meaning I just go in there and have all this stuff. And instead of me playing it, I'm like, I know he can probably play it in less takes and a whole lot better than me. So I'll be like, hey, Harrison, go play guitar on that. Harrison, go play drums on that. Harrison, we need bass on this, And he's awesome, man. He is just like my secret weapon, but not so secret. But again, last night I didn't want to I wanted to do some things, on some of the songs, and I think we had 3 songs that had bass and drums outstanding where we had laid guide tracks. The Leaving Game is one of those, and it needed some arrangemental changes, so Eddie and I sat there and did that, and then I in my rudimentary fashion played the drums, and he tightened them up, and we tightened the guitars from before. Now this part is really interesting because you remember me talking about my Martin X Series guitar and just feeling like it would sound good on that one, even though it's a cheaper guitar. And trying that out last week and sitting there and playing some leads until I popped a string. Well, we went back and we took out 1 or 2 sour notes that I had played, and everything else just worked out. This song has an extended intro to each verse where there's this real southern rocky kind of acoustic guitar, and that was kind of by design. That was sort of like how the song was imagined, was just like longer pauses between the singing and like just some very, very southern acoustic guitar. And to be different on this song, I almost always do songs in G or A. This song, we actually put the capo on it, which put it in, it's still a G chord shape, but it put it in the key of B. So to play the solos really the way I wanted to treat it like it was an open guitar solo, I mean like a first position. So I had to put the capo on it, and I think that's what led to Popping the String. That and these awesome, just, you know. Anyway, we were able to, I was like, well, do I need to redo those leads? And, you know, I just kind of planned from that. And typically that's what I had in mind, was like, here's the ideas, let me go refine that, and I'll come back. He's like, no, I think that sounds good. He's like, we can just do a little moving things around and it'll work. And so we did. And I was like shocked. I was like, it was because the song was much longer, right? It was like over 4 minutes, and I cut it down. So then we had leftover pieces that we could kind of, you know, move around. And that is really the glory of modern recording with like Pro Tools. Almost anything is possible once you get the notes into the computer. You know what I mean? If you're flat or sharp, that can be fixed. Although I try on guitar playing, I'm pretty good on not being sharp or flat, and it really jumps out at me when I am. You know, a bend doesn't quite make it, and I'm like, and that's rare, but I'm like, oh, something's wrong. You know, I immediately know it, and we take that out. But vocally, it's a little more subtle to be slightly flat. It's a very human thing, and I think a lot of good singers do it, you know, and it gets fixed, maybe in some cases without them knowing. But if the great Adele has to be tuned, you know your boy Johnny Brento has to be tuned. So I try not to get like too upset about it. It's just part of the process. But anyway, we got that song Leaving Game in a really, really good place, and I was like, let me just go ahead and play some drums. So I played drums, he tightened them, we used them, and they're very simple. And then I did some separate things with you know, like some shimmers, and it worked out really good. And then Harrison came at the right time, played bass on it. It was awesome. So Beauty, how did you enjoy your morning walk and visit to Bait and Coffee? Good? All good? Okay. You ready to go get some ice now for Grandma? AKA Mama.